Thank you so much for joining me again. Now we're going to talk a little about GLBT issues, or gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender. Quite honestly, we really don't know the percentage of the population that identifies as gays, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender because of the stigma and possible discrimination a lot of people in this population face. So this is some of the latest kind of stats that I can find from catalyst.org that kind of looked at kind of international populations and the United States population as well. So they're saying 4.1% of folks are identifying as GLBT. There's actually other information that maybe as high as 10%. But again, because of so much of the stigma and discrimination, people don't necessarily come out of the closet in their workplace and environments because they don't feel comfortable. Because there is a lot of discrimination about it. However, there is some legislation that kind of provides some protections. This is coming off of the Executive Order 11246, which was put back into the 60s, which basically put in prohibit employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, and national origin. It was amended in the late 60s to include gender, and then it was amended furthermore in 2014 to take the word sex and sexual orientation and identity, or to substitute and add sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or national origin for sex or national origin. So it expanded the definition, what was protected. And so this is mostly in government contracts, but a lot of companies and employment opportunities have expanded to that. I mentioned discrimination. There's a lot of discrimination and harassment in the of GBLT folks in the workforce. Anywhere from 15 to 43% have had some experience. Some of it have felt they've been passed over or fired for a job, or received a negative evaluation, or been verbally or physically abused as part of their workplace. Again, this is why a lot of people don't necessarily come out, and just makes this a very marginalized population that there should be issues, concerns about that we need to, in the workforce education, to expand. I've included a kind of different articles. One is taking action to support GBLT workplace equality is good for business. Again, we need to kind of demonstrate why it's important for businesses and workforce folks to support this population. They bring a lot to the business, but also some challenges. Another aspect, part of this is, yes, there are GBLT issues overall, but even those who identify as a minority face even higher levels of discrimination, unemployment, and low wages. Just because, again, they're a minority in addition to the being gay, lesbian, transgender. I'm not going to play this video because it's kind of long, but it's very interesting in looking at the benefits of hiring a LGBT person. And it's actually presented by a transgendered person who's about to enter his graduate school work. And so it's really interesting, really informative. So I'll be posting this overall PowerPoint as well as this video, so you can see or get opportunities to click on the links, because I'm sharing a lot of links with you, an opportunity to do some further exploration. Right now, there's actually, the federal government does provide some protection about that, but a lot of states don't necessarily have non-discrimination laws against GBLT populations. In fact, my home state of Tennessee particularly has laws that prevent, passage of any local laws that say you can't have discrimination laws, which is kind of sad for my state, but the politics of my state are a little different. So it gives you a sense of where you may be. Colorado is one that does, so yay Colorado, but just a lot of other states across the country don't necessarily have anything formal laws that dictate non-discrimination against GBLTQ. Here's some resources about how to include and how to support inclusion. And also looking at some professional student organizations. Most of the research I found, actually, in terms of looking at workforce education opportunities, a lot has been found actually in specific GBLT centers. So I've highlighted a few here from New York, San Francisco, Los Angeles, and actually the Washington, D.C. Mayor's office has particular office and particular department in their office that focuses on GBLT education and training. And I thought that's very interesting. I'm sure there's other states across in cities across the country who'd have specific areas that focus on that education of the population. Because there's a lot of studies done about suicide rates in GBLTQ populations. They're being fearful of being in the work environment. So this is definitely a marginalized population that needs some attention, especially as more and more millennials are coming out of the closet and being more comfortable in the work and coming out in their earlier years. And so they're going to continue to face challenges as they go into a very diverse workforce who may not be appreciative or welcoming of who they are. And we all know that you are more likely to be successful if you're accepted and allowed to be who you are in any environment that you're in. So I hope this information was helpful. And again, I'll post the PowerPoint separately so you can actually see some of these links, and I encourage you to check them out.